A cordial greeting. Today is Tuesday, August 1, 2023. This is meteorologist Ruben Garcia speaking. Today marks the beginning of what is typically the second most active month of the hurricane season in the Atlantic. In today's video, I would like to discuss the current conditions in the Atlantic region and when and where the next cyclonic development could occur in the Atlantic. Let's start by talking about Invest 96, which is a low-pressure system located to the north in the Atlantic. This low-pressure system had a high probability of cyclonic development in the last few days. However, we have observed that the shear winds have kept this disturbance disorganized, and over the last few days, the chances of cyclonic development have decreased dramatically. According to the latest forecast from the National Hurricane Center, the probability of cyclonic development for Invest 96 has decreased to 30% over the next 7 days. It is expected to move northward over open waters of the Atlantic without posing a problem for land areas. The opportunity for development of Invest 96 is running out, and it seems that we will have to wait a bit longer for the formation of the next tropical storm, which will be named Tropical Storm Emily. Speaking a little about climatology, know that currently, August 1st marks the beginning of a period where we typically see a significant increase in cyclonic activity in the Atlantic. As shown in this graph, the chances of cyclonic development in the Atlantic increase significantly over the next few weeks, peaking on September 10th. After the peak, cyclonic activity typically begins to reduce. However, the most active period of the hurricane season in the Atlantic is from mid-August to mid-October. It is during this period that historically we have seen the formation of most of the storms and hurricanes in the Atlantic. It is essential that if you live in a vulnerable area to the impact of these cyclones, you should be prepared for this peak season. In the following graph, we can see that during August, most systems form just east of the Lesser Antilles arc, also east of the United States. Although we can see cyclone development over the Gulf of Mexico, a large part of the Caribbean and the tropical Atlantic, which is why in August, basically the entire eastern, southeastern, and southern regions of the United States, eastern Mexico, Central America, and the Caribbean must remain vigilant about any disturbance with development potential. However, over the next 7 to 10 days, the Atlantic is expected to remain fairly quiet, mainly due to the region still being dominated by dry air and Sahara desert dust, as seen in this animation. The yellow and orange colors represent a Sahara dust cloud continuing its westward journey over the tropical Atlantic. These dry conditions are not favorable for the formation of tropical cyclones. This was also one of the reasons why Invest 96 did not strengthen into a tropical cyclone as it moved over the tropical Atlantic. Another critical factor for the Atlantic being relatively calm is the significant increase in cyclonic activity in the Pacific. As shown in the following animation of the GFS forecast model, over the next 7 to 10 days, several cyclones are expected to form in the eastern Pacific. Typically, when this region experiences high cyclonic activity, the Atlantic tends to have suppressed cyclonic activity. However, by mid to late next week, the situation in the Atlantic may change a bit. A favorable phase of the Madden-Julian Oscillation will be moving over regions of Africa and the Indian Ocean. Typically, when this oscillation is in this phase, atmospheric conditions improve considerably over the Atlantic region. This could provide an opportunity for the formation of some cyclones, especially related to strong tropical waves that will be emerging over the next few weeks. As we look at the satellite image over the African region, we can see several strong tropical waves that have developed over the continent and are slowly moving westward. These tropical waves are expected to reach the Atlantic over the next 7 to 10 days, and some of them may encounter favorable conditions for strengthening. We will be closely monitoring from mid to late next week to see if any of these waves develop into cyclones. Furthermore, note that the GFS model predicts a significant decrease in wind shear from August 10th. This is also due to the favorable phase of the Madden-Julian Oscillation, with an active phase moving over Africa and the Indian Ocean. This suggests that between August 10th and 20th, conditions in the Atlantic could favor the formation of 1 or 2 tropical cyclones. However, remember that this is a long-term forecast, and important changes may occur. Still, some of the GFS model members for the middle of next week show a strong tropical wave moving over the tropical Atlantic, indicating a low or moderate probability that we may have to watch some of these emerging tropical waves closely. The European model ensemble also shows a low or moderate probability that one of these tropical waves could develop into a low-pressure system. Possibly, by the beginning or middle of next week, we may see conditions that could lead to gradual cyclonic development just east of the Lesser Antilles. In terms of probability, the European model ensemble predicts a 20% to 30% chance of a tropical depression forming from August 10th. However, remember that this is just a long-term view of where the opportunity for cyclonic development may occur. Currently, there is no imminent threat to the Caribbean, the United States, Mexico, or Central America. It's essential to stay calm and always be prepared for the peak of the season. We will closely observe the models, especially starting this weekend, and keep you informed of any updates in this forecast. To not miss any videos, remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're watching on YouTube, go to the bottom of the video, click the red subscribe button, and then click the bell icon to receive notifications when I upload new content. See you in the next video, and I hope everyone has an excellent week.